Minecraft, Murder Miners, Ace of Spades, Battlefield. What happens when you take all of these different games and kind of throw them into an idea blender? Well, the answer is Sector's Edge, a game that was created by two brothers. Vercidium and Rocket Skeleton have built this game from the ground up and even created their own engine to do it, which is actually pretty insane when you think about it. Sector's Edge is a solid combo of fast-paced first-person shooter gameplay combined with the sandbox destruction of something like Ace of Spades or even Minecraft. Originally, the game released on Steam in early access back in 2020, but recently on October 21st, the game dropped a huge patch and went into open beta. Now visually the game isn't going to blow you away. You can see the inspiration quite clearly when you look at it, as it shares that voxel style that many games have used in the past, obviously most notably Minecraft. However, the gameplay is a very unique experience. It's basically a first-person shooter with complete environment destruction. Not only just buildings or vehicles like you would see in something like a Battlefield, but literally everything in the game is destructible. Whether that means you want to blast away someone's tower with C4 and watch it crumble on top of them, or if you just want to dig a tunnel all the way under the map to get to the other side, you can do just that. Not only does the game have that total destruction though, you can also kind of build the map back up with your own structures on the go. Doing this by either placing singular blocks or one of the 9 structures that you can pre-design before you go into a match. My personal favorite prefab is a box with a hole in the middle, so you can either box yourself up for protection or troll enemies and put it on top of them. This influence that every player has on the map makes every single one of your games feel unique, even when you end up playing the same map in game mode as before, because the map is going to end up looking completely different pretty much every single time you play, depending on how the players in the game decide to play. It could end up pretty much flattened if everyone is blowing things up, or it may stay relatively intact. Now, I have been talking up the game a good bit so far, and obviously it isn't perfect and can be pretty rough around the edges at points. Whether it's just that lack of polish in some of the various aspects of the game, or various bugs themselves, the game does definitely have its flaws. However, the gameplay itself will keep you wanting to play more, as some of the moments in this game are totally unrivaled in the FPS market today, with heavy inspiration from something like an Ace of Spades. Along with that full-scale destruction and the custom engine built from the ground up, the game also sports ray-traced audio, though if I'm being honest, this isn't really something I noticed during my gameplay because I'm not a huge audio person, but this video does a good job of showcasing what exactly that means.
Hey there! We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Did you know you could save up to $5,000 a year by simply switching provider?
I will say while this ray-traced audio is very cool, the game does seem to lack some audio compared to the bigger budget shooters on the market, and I'm not exactly sure what gave me this feeling. But after clicking through footage of various different shooters I had on my hard drive, I think it might just come down to the lack of voice lines, since so many games have characters that say things on a pretty regular basis, even in multiplayer. However, Sector's Edge does have proximity chat, which will always make for some fun moments when people are using it, and can fill some of that quietness that I mentioned before, although that's obviously player dependent, and you're not going to always have people using their mics in a lobby.
I think they're above us. I can't hold it in.
The gameplay itself in Sector's Edge is also very solid. While it's not going to be as polished as your standard AAA shooter, the gunplay and movement in this game feel very nice, and you can even modify your loadout to your specific style of play, which all comes unlocked as soon as you download the game. No paywalls or time gates here. The gunplay feels pretty standard for that arcadey style of FPS game that is all over the market, and the movement also falls into that category, utilizing that standard sprint and slide gameplay that we see in so many shooters today. Now, I do want to dive a little bit deeper into the loadout system because I think it is one of the stronger points of this game. If you played some of the older Call of Duties that used to use the Pick 10 system, this game utilizes a 15 power system. where basically you get to create your loadout, and everything that you pick is going to take a little bit of power, and once you hit 15, you can no longer add things to your loadout. This means you can obviously select things like primary weapons, secondary weapons, different utilities, modifications for your guns, different perks for your character, and also various different grenade options. You do have a wide selection of guns. There are actually 15 in the game, though 14 of them are usable in your standard lobby, ranging everything from a sniper rifle to different explosives, to more of your standard automatic rifles, to shotguns, and even some various pistols. The game definitely has a very good variety of guns. What's also very cool about these guns is you can actually modify them even more, similar to something like you would see with the gunsmith in Modern Warfare, though not necessarily to that degree. If you take a look at something like the railgun specifically, which is the sniper in this game, you can see that you have a variety of different barrel options, ammo options, and payload options, all of which will affect how the gun is going to perform when you're shooting people in multiplayer. As you mess with the different attachments, you can see the stats on the left side change to kind of show exactly what this attachment is changing. So for example, with the railgun here, you can use it like a default sniper rifle, a medium range sniper rifle, or heck, you can even turn it into a rail pistol. All of the guns are going to have a different variety of options like this that will allow you to basically set up your loadout pretty much exactly how you want to play. This is pretty fun because it gives the game a good amount of variety, even if there's only 15 different weapons. Out of the weapons, I mostly gravitated toward the more standard rifles like the assault rifle and the SMG, but even the different plasma rifles and the LMG were pretty useful in my gameplay. However, if you want to just have some fun and go around blowing up the map, you can definitely go with one of the explosive options. Basically just however you want to play. I will say the sniper at times can be a little bit frustrating if you're in a lobby with someone who's really good with it, though myself personally I haven't really got to that level. You also have a handful of different utility options that you can pick from, along with some different options in your grenade slot like regular grenade, sticky grenade, smoke grenade, or even just a blade. Like I said though, the loadout system all comes completely unlocked when you install the game, which is pretty nice because you won't have to grind to unlock different attachments or worry about having to buy specific weapons or attachments. However, if you are someone that really likes to grind and progress through a game and get different attachments and guns, that unfortunately is not in this game. Sector's Edge also comes pretty jam-packed with content. For game modes, the game has 4 main modes that you're going to see played on the server browser: Breakthrough, Control Shift, Capture the Flag, and Escort. You also have the ship that you can jump into, which allows you to just test out your guns and create those building prefabs or basically just run around. However, they don't let you destroy the ship, which I'm a little bit upset about. Control Shift also by far the most unique to Sector's Edge, and basically it's like Tug of War combined with King of the Hill. There's a big hill that'll be on the map, and as you control this zone, it's going to push closer to the other side of the map, and once you get it to the complete other side of the map, you end up winning the game. So this game mode's pretty fun because it keeps you moving across all the different parts of the map, and it can have those good give and take moments where you're controlling the hill for a while, and then you have to try and take it back, all that good stuff. Capture the Flag is pretty straightforward, so I don't think I need to explain that one to you, and Escort is pretty straightforward too. In that game mode, each team has a bomb that they're trying to take and plant at the enemy base. First to 3 explosions there is going to end up winning the game. Breakthrough is basically going to put 5 control points on a map, and then you have to try and take control of them sequentially, and as you take control of the further up control points, it's going to increase the space in which you can spawn, making it quicker for you to get back to those points. Overall, all of the game modes are pretty fun, and seem to work pretty well with Sector Edge's gameplay. One really unique thing, like I mentioned a little bit there with Breakthrough, is this game doesn't have the standard spawn logic that you might see in a Call of Duty, but rather gives you these huge spawn points, which will vary depending on how the game is going, that you can then select where exactly you want to spawn in. To play these different game modes, there are 14 maps in total that all have a nice variety of different environments and settings, from more open areas to city downtowns to more enclosed style maps. These are split amongst the various game modes, all of which you can decide in between games with a voting system to determine exactly what map and game mode you want to play. Sector's Edge's customization is also pretty solid for a free-to-play game, especially in this day and age. Now the game does have a store, though it is very reasonably priced, and it is going to give you some different characters, skins, titles, and even the currency boost. Now, like I mentioned, you do earn the in-game currency called protons just by playing the game, or obviously if you have boosts, you'll earn them a little bit faster, and you can use those to unlock some of the different locked things in the game that are all going to be various different cosmetics. Now, for weapon skins, there is a good variety of materials and patterns, and you can go ahead and create whatever colors you want on these to really make these guns feel like your own. There are also some different skins that you can get for the various building blocks, along with different characters and skins for those characters. There's also customization for the license, which is kind of similar to the calling card and title in Call of Duty. Sector's Edge does utilize a server browser system rather than the standard matchmaking that you see in a lot of modern games, which definitely has its pros and cons. One pro is you can select exactly what you want to play, and lobbies will stick together from game to game. However, there are the downsides that it's not necessarily as clean and fancy as just clicking find a match and waiting for your lobby. Now, I don't know if this is a pro and a con for you specifically, but since the game uses a more old school server browser, it has no skill-based matchmaking. Though like I mentioned, the game doesn't have matchmaking, there is a quick play option that'll give you a couple different servers that you can join with just a click of a button. I should also mention, Sector's Edge definitely has a smaller player base. In the recent days, the peak concurrent players was around the 200 mark. However, I haven't had any difficulties finding populated lobbies. The developers also seem very active and open to feedback, though obviously being a small team of only 2 people, and the fact that they don't do this as their full-time career does make the updates come a little bit slower. Overall, Sector's Edge is a very fun time. Is it a game that I plan to play on a daily basis? No, probably not. But it is definitely something I could see myself launching up from time to time just to mess around in and blow some stuff up. The lack of standard live service tropes like battle passes also makes it easy to hop in and out of on your own time without getting that feeling of FOMO. So if you like first-person shooters, I would suggest at least checking this one out, because hey, why not? It's free after all. And that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if there's any other shooters you guys want me to cover, whether it's a more undiscovered indie game or even the big AAA titles. Make sure you guys follow my other channel, Arash Live, if you want to catch live streams. And other than that, follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. With that said, I'll see you all next time.